Okay, we're started.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday, April 27th meeting of Plano West Rotary. And I am the president, Alex Johnson. And today I'm going to turn it over to our amazing stand-in Sergeant of Arms, two-time president, five-time club secretary, Glenn Thornton. Take it away, Glenn, for brags.
Okie dokie. As more people come on here. Well, I'm going to stay with Steve. I guess you got your brag there with the fishing going on, right, Steve?
Yes, sir. Let me get over to my proof.
To your what? Oh, proof.
Proof.
Wait, somebody could have just come drop those off. We don't know.
Well, I'm sorry. That's not what happened.
Wow,
Nice size catfish.
nice.
Nice.
I know what's for supper.
Yes, sir. That's right. Fried catfish.
There you go. All right. Well,
Okay,
I'm
I gotta adjust my camera here. Hey, Glenn.
Hey.
Anything else?
Anything else, Steve?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
LaShawn, do you have a brag? I'm not hearing you. Why am I not hearing you? We're not hearing you, LaShawn. It looks like you're not muted, but I don't hear you. Okay. Okay. We'll try again in a minute, maybe. It doesn't show you muted. Okay. Mr. Fred Biebendorfer, you have a brag for us today?
Yeah, I got a phone call yesterday. For those of you that don't know, I had the privilege of interviewing the Plano Senior High School students for Camp Ryla. And this year we were kind of short in numbers, but it's going to turn out to be a blessing for Plano Senior High because I got a call from Vicki Nelson yesterday. She's the one that arranges the kids from the various schools and puts them in cabins. And she called me up to ask me if we could give another club our two alternates, the girls and one of the boy alternates. So out of the 17 kids we interviewed from Plano Senior High, all of them are going to get to go to Camp Riley. So I'm excited about that.
Very cool. Great brag. Nice. Nice work. Thank you, Fred. Okay. Joy, how you doing, Joy? You got a brag for us today?
I do. I have a brand new grandson.
Woohoo! I heard that.
Oh,
He was born on the 22nd, 4 weeks early, but he is healthy and he was 6 pounds. And the most beautiful thing that I'm already in love. So yes, welcome Elijah.
Elijah.
oh, that's awesome, Joy.
Yep.
Congrats.
Very cool.
Super
Very cool.
excited.
Very cool. Great brag. Joanna, would you like to brag on anything today?
Well, really, I should brag on Antonio and Bruce for their ongoing project to drop COVID-19 flyers. We still need more people. So y'all put the word out. If anybody has connections with a scout troop, can you reach out to me? Maybe we can get the scouts to help. Yes, Miss Humphrey. Awesome. Let's connect offline. I have to also brag on our club. We took over 24 family hygiene kits to the district conference.
Yes. Nice. Very cool.
And the whole district put together over 1,400 individual hygiene kits.
Wow.
At the conference.
Very
It was
cool.
crazy in there.
Yeah,
It was
looked like
crazy how much stuff we had and then the people that were in there that were helping. So yeah, it was amazing effort. Yay to all of us.
Yeah, it's great. Great. Thank you, Joanna. Nancy Humphrey, would you like to brag before you talk later?
Oh, well, that's awful nice of you. Yeah, I'll brag. My son, we got to go to Missouri this weekend and watch him graduate from college. He was a 2020 graduate, but they had a ceremony at University of Missouri. He's been working as a journalist on TV in Colorado Springs for a year, but he got to walk the stage and we were so happy to do that.
Very cool.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, that's great brag. Jerry Chambers, brag for us today, Jerry?
Have a brag, and I'll do it real quick. I was out in front of Pisd Administration Building yesterday and was greeting people and was having a great conversation with this woman. Long story short, come to find out she was my third grade teacher at Greenwood Hills Elementary in Richardson. Had not met her, had no clue. It was just the coolest moment in the whole wide world. And so it's just so fun to make connections with people and be out and about. So anyway, it's just a fun encounter.
Very cool. Thank you. Courtney, do you have a brag for us?
I do, yes. I was able to actually meet Joanna and spend a little bit of time helping us kind of sort things out so they could assemble the family kits. So that was really cool. It was just amazing to see the, just outpouring of support. And then also too, I had a really busy weekend and it felt kind of like normal again. So that was nice.
That's very nice. James Thomas, I want to hear from you, big guy.
Morning, sir. I'm thinking about what my colleague, my wonderful friend Jerry Chambers said. Jerry, I think you need to consider your audience. The vast majority of us in this particular club, we're kind of older, and I don't think any of our third grade teachers are still alive. Okay. So I'd be interested in seeing what I don't want to see what my third grade teacher looked like. I don't even think we had third grade when I was growing up. But my brag is my favorite 26-year-old, Chase Thomas, and several of you have met him before because he volunteered once before. He's my big guy, and he moved into an apartment in uptown Dallas. And that's not the brag part. The brag part is he did not want his mom nor his dad to provide any funding. So I'm bragging for myself. Dad got out of paying for this, yes.
Very nice.
Okay, I think that's my camera.
Okay, Randall, I see you there. Randall, you have a brag for us?
Well, I was just thinking about what I wanted to brag about. Usually I brag about my kids, but today I think I'm going to brag about my wife. She managed to pull off this past weekend 2 banquets simultaneously for our kids, and she organized them both. I don't know how she did it and how she pulled it off, but she did it. And so today I'm going to brag on my wife versus my kids because she's pretty much the fuel in our family, but she pulled that off like a champ. And I mean, I don't know how she did it. I took one of them to their banquet and that's about all I did. She had it all under control. So that's my brag for her.
Very cool. Okay, Caitlin Jones, you like to brag on anything?
Sure. We've been doing homeschooling and my son, I think, was ready and we put him in the school right down the street and he's been doing a great job these past 2 weeks. And he's not behind, so that's been great.
Very nice, thank you. Tara, would you like to brag on anything today?
Sure. Well, I'll follow along and brag on my wife, and she created an app called Rent Smarter, which is geared to help people when they are starting out renting. So it has a budget function and can help people learn how much they should be paying for rent, and then what questions to ask a landlord, how to look at a lease. So just all of the things that people when they're living in apartments need to know, but aren't always clearly explained. So I think it's going to be really cool. But if you know anyone that needs it, let me know and I'll send you a link for the app. So it's good stuff.
Thank you, Tara. Laura Johnson, I see you. There you are. You were on your phone, I bet. You're always busy.
I am here, yes, hi. Brag. A lot of my stuff is work related, but I'm just gonna brag on my younger daughter, Jessica. I got 2 daughters, they're polar opposites in virtually every category. She just turned 14 yesterday, and her birthday wishes and desires were so more grounded and down to earth and easy to accomplish than my other daughter when she was turning 14. So I'm just really proud that she looks at everything before she makes these decisions, especially even on her own birthday, where, you know, that's the time to be selfish, I think, is on your birthday, right? And she still is able to say, well, you know, let's just do this instead, you know, kind of thing. But she didn't share it with me, but she shared it with Alex that she did enjoy her birthday yesterday at school. Everybody, wished her happy birthday. And typically that's not something she likes, because she doesn't like that attention, but she did have a very good day, even though I only spent the evening portion with her. But Alex ran around doing different things for her, dropping off food and different things. She's very food motivated. So anyway, I'm just very proud of her.
That's great. Happy birthday to Jessica. Yes. I see Dolly Thomas.
Hey,
Dolly?
Glenn, we're going to have to cut it off at 12:10, remember?
No, I don't, but I believe you. Mr.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank Mr. Sergeant of Arms Glenn Thornton. You're not at the lake or hunting like our other members, but thank you for doing this. What I'd like to do now is turn it over to Mr. James Thomas, who is working hard during lunch in support of the school district, but he's going to take a tiny break here. Just so you know, we're saying this because he's kissing up to trustees. He's going to lead us in prayer. So take it away, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Dear gracious Father, we come to you today, thanking you so much for the many blessings. As we take a look at our country, we find ourselves on the back end of that curve with the pandemic that we face. Gracious Father, we pray that you'll continue to watch us, and not only that, focus also on our own countries like India, who are traversing through horrible and horrific times in that with this disease. Please continue to guide us, guide this group, this amazing group, in playing a role in taking care of our families and our community here. In your name we pray, amen. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Now I'm going to ask another one of our amazing members, Courtney Hitt. Can you lead us in the pledge?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Courtney. So I am going to temporarily turn this over to our foundation chair, who's going to introduce our next guest speaker. So take it away, Randall.
Thank you, Alex. It is always a pleasure to be here this afternoon and see all of these faces for my fellow Rotary members. So again, it's just a great honor to be here. But today, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn it over to someone that has a lot more energy than I do, someone a lot younger than I am, to provide this presentation this afternoon. And I think you'll understand why once I turn it over to him. So without further ado, I want to introduce, and to some of you, and also just most of you who know him, Mr. Taha is going to give the presentation for the Paul Harris Fellow this afternoon. Take it over, Taha.
Hey guys, so I'm going to be introducing the new Paul Harris Fellow today. I'm going to share my screen now, I guess. Yeah, so I'll do that right now. Can you guys see my presentation? All right, thank you. So these are the current Plano West Rotary Club members that are Paul Harris Fellows. Right now we can see Alex Johnson, Laura Johnson, all these great people who are Paul Harris Fellows. And so I'm honored to show who our next Paul Harris Fellow is today. That would be my dear friend, Zane Calson. I believe he's in this call. So I would like to say a few words about Zane. I've known Zane for maybe, I believe, 6 years now. He's changed a lot from the very beginning. And when I first met him, he was mostly into stuff like games. He wasn't as dedicated as he is now. But when I see him now, I get motivated myself to do more and more, especially with Rotary and volunteering. He has brought so many of us along in terms of just working together to serve the community, and he's been such a role model for so many people. He's a genuine individual, and I can't say any more about him. It's just his actions speak enough for it. These are some of the funny pictures that Samuel and I added. He can be a little goofy at times, and especially whenever we were in our academic decathlon competitions, he was always the life of our team, I would say. He always brought us all together, and it made our high school experience much more enjoyable. But also, he's always been a dear friend to me. I think that, especially in the high school where there's a lot of competition and whatnot, it's always nice to find someone that is readily looking out for you as an individual. And Zane was like that. He's very humble, and he's also very hardworking. But he always tries to help people along the way as well. It's not that he's only looking out for himself. And that's one thing I really valued in him as a friend, and I value in him today as well. And so I just want to say congratulations to him, and I hope he continues to serve Rotary and the community along the way. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Todd. Thank you, everyone. This is really meaningful to me, and I'm really thankful that I had this opportunity, and yeah, this means a lot to me. So thank you.
Congratulations, Zane. For those that don't know, I've actually known Zane for 4 years, since he was a freshman, and he is our currently club secretary in training. So in July, he will be giving Glenn the boot and ending Glenn's 5-year reign of controlling the club. And that is Zane. And I think you guys have noticed he's my stand-in when I'm not here. Like next week, he'll be running the meeting. He does a lot of things behind the scenes. He's also president of the UTD Rotaract Club. So he's got multiple roles, and he's involved in zone level, district level. I mean, Zane is one amazing man. And like Taha said, it's just been an honor for me to be his friend and just watch him grow and develop. And as a Rotarian, I just love the fact that he has joined our club and is contributing and has recruited, I think, maybe 3 or 4 people already. So Zane, you're awesome. I'm so glad you've joined the ranks of the Paul Harris Fellows through all the service that you do, which is a lot. If we gave points, he'd probably be a Paul Harris Fellow +8 if we kept on giving him for everything he does. So thank you, congrats. And I hope he's an inspiration to everybody else, just like he's an inspiration to me as well. So now let's let him off. This is not what he wants us to do. So it's like, just shut up. But awesome. Well, let's go through club business before we get into what we really want to talk about. Everybody should have received an email that this is Isabel Segovia has turned in an application to join our club. She's been volunteering with us for months. She's even made a Rotary Foundation donation, which is awesome. And we're going to be voting and inducting her on May 11th. I think you probably saw she's been very active in the school district. She's, I think she's president of the Carpenter Middle School PTA right now. She's planning on enrolling in the next Leadership Plano, and she wants to continue to be involved with us. So everybody be sure to say hi, hello, get to know her if you haven't already met her already. I do want to talk about, we have, just to reiterate, because a lot of people, this is a surprise, we have 27 committees in our club, and each one has their own team leader, committees, and they're doing various things. The majority of them are project committees, because we do on average of over 5 projects every month. If you look at our website now, you'll see we probably have, I think, 9 over the next 30 days. And so there's a lot of you that are making that happen. I am not I'm not chair of any of these committees, yay. And so we just appreciate everybody who is getting involved, because that's the only way we do the amazing things that we are doing. And so if you look at this link, you could go in there and see what the committees are, who the chairs and who's on them. And I encourage you, find something that fits you. You know, not everybody wants to do everything. Everybody has things that are important to them. And join the committee, because we can only do good if we're involved. For the most part, this is kind of a little explanation a lot of people may not understand. I think last time I looked, because Rotary International tracks everything. So if everybody goes to myrotary.org, you can see all the good our club has done. And I think the last time I looked, we have done over 50 service projects, and that doesn't include the ones this month that we haven't even submitted yet. We have led close to 800 volunteers, and this is just since July 1st, and we have donated over $265,000 in goods, and that's without writing a check. We're not writing a check and saying, yay, we're awesome. This is, we're doing things, giving out food, giving out different things. So that's what we're doing. And what's amazing, when you talk about those 800 volunteers, keep in mind, a lot of those are overlap. Like if you participate in 10 different projects, well, 10 of those volunteers are you. But in general, 80% of our volunteers on our projects are not Rotarians. And so what makes our club powerful is that we are leading the community in service, because we couldn't do what we do with our members. We only have 61 members. No, I'm sorry, Isabel will be 62. We couldn't do what we do with 62 members. You know, we're only 20% of our volunteer base. It's the community. That's where our power is, because each one of us, we bring our friends, our families, we get organizations we're a part of. We let them know to volunteer with us. So because of that, we have the school district, which is one of our partners, and they're looking for us to provide more volunteers. In fact, I'm going to talk about one later on that James just secured. The city of Plano, they look to us for volunteering. I mean, which is pretty powerful. When the city is emailing, calling us saying, hey, can you help us out, do things? That's because we have a track record of success, and we get it done, we do it well, and we walk away, and we don't ask anything except for the ability to serve. So I really thank everybody here for just being such great Rotarians, because that's what we are, service above self. And so what I ask is, when you see projects, because we have a lot of them, you may not be interested in doing it, but let your friends know about it, you know, because that's who volunteers. We don't expect everybody. I maybe participate in maybe a third of our projects. It's just, you know, we each have lives. And so we don't expect everybody to volunteer, but you know, friends, and they might be interested in serving those experiencing homelessness, feeding, God, I just can't even think of all the different things, cleanups, appreciating the police, you know, some new ones for the overnight warming stations. There's just a lot of opportunities for people to serve. So let your friends know what they are and join a committee. All right, let's talk about what we just did recently, like basically the last week. Armstrong Middle School, Catherine and James, they run it. As we know, the Armstrong Middle School has a food pantry, and we provide volunteers. I can't remember how many volunteers we did for the one on April 20th, but what's important to know is not only are we helping these families, we're helping the staff, because when they're out there delivering food, they're not educating or they're not going home to get a day from arrest. You know, so we are not only helping the families who are in need, we're helping the staff either one, be educators, or prepare for the next day, or just go home and be with their families. So I almost consider that to be a dual project, because these teachers are just being worked a lot, especially through COVID, and this is our way of giving back. So that's, and I think this one is next month is the last one. We opened it up. Catherine asked me to allow more volunteers, and so there's a couple slots on there. Armstrong's taking a break for the summer, but we will continue in the fall. because they're very eager for us to be there. With COVID block walking, we just finished the second one. This one, we really need people to volunteer for because right now, this is a perfect example. Greg Russian, Deputy City Manager, he's also retiring. He's task force leader for the city's COVID, everything going on with COVID. And part of the challenge is currently the city's at 25% vaccination. And when people finish their second shots will be at 50. Well, CDC would like it to be 85 to 90 for herd immunity. So we're a long ways from that. So this COVID awareness block walking project is providing information to communities in Plano, what we consider low information. Right now, the team has a list of 5,000 apartment units that the city provided us. And these are predominantly majority Hispanic. And they're areas that are having a low response rate for vaccination. So the cities, they funded all of this. These door hangers are English on one side, Spanish on the other, and we're placing them on the individual doors and on these 5,000 units. And then afterwards, we're going to be printing out more, and then we're going to be targeting some of the Hispanic neighborhoods. Because of the language situation, a lot of residents just don't know what's available to them. They don't know where to go. So that's why we're doing this in Spanish, English. They may not have access to the internet, so you can't just say, look it up, or they just don't know, or they're working 2 or 3 jobs. So what we're doing is providing information. We're not promoting, we're just providing the information to our residents so they can make a choice. And so we need more, because as we know, COVID is now. This isn't a strategic thing, this is tactical. We see what's going on in India right now. They're being annihilated because of a variant, and they at one point thought they had it fixed. And as we know, what happens overseas eventually hits us. So we need our population to be prepared when these variants hit us stronger. So tell your friends, tell your family, help out. Antonio and Bruce are the team leaders on it. I know Lori Johnson, and who else is on this call that's on it? Joanna, but I don't see her. Joanna, oh, there she is. Oh, it just moved you. Joanna is also on it as well. So help them out and send your friends to volunteer for it. And then you also heard a couple people talk about our district conference. We had Joanna and Michelle. They're involved in the service project for that completely. I think the Thorntons had their entire garage full of 1,400 care packages and supplies. And we've had a number of people in our club take part in that. So thank you very much for doing that. So now let me quickly go through our upcoming projects. The COVID awareness block walking, that's going to take place weekly. Honestly, until the need is done, meaning because right now, oh, by the way, the vaccination sites are ghost towns. Curative, who is a company that the county and the city works with, they're reducing their hours. It's happening everywhere. The people that want to get vaccinated have gotten it. We're at 50%. So we need to let people know it's walk-in, it's free, it's available. That's what we're trying to do, because right now, if you go to these vaccination sites, ask Joy, she sent me a text. She's like, hey, let people know it's walk-in THR. It's like that everywhere. So this is a major, major, major need that we are meeting. We have Love Where You Live. That's a perfect example where the city contacted us and asked us if we could provide volunteers. Glenn connected us up with the litter cleanup because we are very involved with the city. Well, then they contacted us, asked us if we could provide volunteers to paint addresses on the curbs. And so John stepped up. I think he's less than a month in the club, and he's leading this project. He needs 24 volunteers. Part of the volunteers is going to be picking up litter. I think it's the Thunderbird neighborhood. The other part's going to be helping the city paint addresses on the curbs. So it's supposed to be a great day. So let your friends know. And then the next week, and then on the 11th, 2 weeks from today, Chief Ed Drain, a fellow Rotarian, is going to be speaking to our club. And at the same time, we're going to be delivering Greek Isles meals for all the on-duty staff. 250 civilians and officers will be working 2 weeks from today while he's speaking to us. We did the same thing for the fire department and during National Fire Prevention Week. The week of May 11th is National Police Week. So all over the nation, all the police departments are appreciating National Police Week that week, and we're just contributing and we're appreciating the force that keeps us safe. So sign up for that if you want to be a driver, or be at the meeting so you can hear Ed do it. And then the next weekend after that, we're doing our Avenue K Adopt a Highway cleanup. We've been doing that for, I think, 4 years. And so sign up for that. I think there's some slots. And then this is a biggie, the two we haven't talked about, and I got to talk quick. Courtney and Brandon have been working with the Plano Overnight Warming Station group, and we are going to have a PALS team, meaning we're going to be manning 3 or 4 nights. We're going to have 25 volunteers that are trained, certified, background check. They do all of that. And so Plano West Rotary will be the only non-church PALS team, actually. And so we're looking over the next couple months, or I think, well, the first one on May 9th, it's a Zoom information session. And so if you want to be a part of that to help the homeless in a direct way, sign up. You're going to attend the Zoom training, then they're going to walk through the steps necessary to get certified, because I believe it starts, the first cold night is what, August, September, Courtney? Around that frame? So we got 6 months to get 50 people trained. So let's let our friends know about that. And then the new thing, James, Mr. Awesome James Thomas, we're going to be helping the PISD, what is it, fans group, whatever, food and nutrition services, right?
Food nutrition services.
They have a program called Curbside Meals. During the school year, they're doing 5 campuses every Tuesday morning, every Tuesday afternoon. So these people that are working in the cafeteria, before they go to work and after they get off work, they're delivering foods to families that are coming by. And probably for the last 3 or 4 months, James is kind of, not that PISD is bureaucratic or anything, you know, Jerry and Nancy, but it is. So James does those. He finally got us approved. We're going to support them in the summer. So starting June 1st, there's 2 campuses. I can't remember what they are, but we're going to be providing 3 or 4 volunteers in the morning and the afternoon to help them deliver, hand out food to families in need during the summer. So it doesn't start till June, but go ahead and look at it. And then the last I want to say, cards for nursing homes. You know, let's help people who are in nursing homes. They either work or they're residents, and you'll send them to them. So that's everything that we're doing. We're always doing a lot. And so I appreciate our amazing club. So now I'm going to turn this over to Dolly Thomas, who kind of knows these ladies a bit and kind of knows a bit about the district, and she's going to introduce our 2 amazing speakers. So take it away, Dolly.
Okay, I am absolutely positively honored to introduce to you Miss Jerry Chambers. As she works hard to make sure all students in our district realize their amazing potential. Her perspective continues to be through the lens of a teacher, working to ensure that our everyday heroes have their resources and support that they need to do their jobs with excellence. Also, Miss Nancy Humphreys. She has served the community for the past 11 years. She's honored to be a part of the Board of Trustees and bring significant experience to serve the students, families, stakeholders of PISD, and support the amazing staff and teachers, AKA superheroes of the district. Now that's all written up for me and everything, but on a personal note, I know these 2 women and they are my superheroes, and I think they both are rock stars. The district is very fortunate to have had them for as long as they have. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Dolly. That's so
wow. That was so sweet. It's so good to see you, Dolly. Thank you. I'm going to share my screen. Is that a good time? Are we ready to do that? Jerry? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Go for it, please.
Okay. Let's see if I can get it to work. You know, there's always that little, let's see.
Well, And while we get started, thank you guys so much for having us today. This is a delight. Y'all are so much fun to be a part of your business and see all that you're doing and all the great things you're doing in the community. So we so are honored and privileged to be here to be with you all today.
Yeah. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, but it's not the presentation, Nance.
Awesomeness. Okay, so I'm wearing my Rotary pin. I'm in Rotary, but I tell you what, you guys are on fire in your club. So congratulations on all the stuff you're doing. And I am so impressed with the young Paul Harris fellows that you have. So young, awesome job, Zane. So Jerry and I are, you know, we're partners in crime on the school board, and we're so honored to be here and speak to you. So real quick, we're going to move this quickly because we have some information that we want to get to, but I'm going to let you know that, hang on, my slideshow isn't starting. There we go.
There you go.
Okay. So first off, this is our mission. I think everybody knows this, but our Plano ISD learning community will educate, inspire, and empower every student to activate their unique potential in a dynamic world. That came through a lot of work a few years ago, and students had input on this. Is that right, Jerry?
Yes, they did. Very much.
All right.
That's why we're
I'm
so
going to let
proud of
Jerry
it.
go with our vision.
Yes, this is something that we all stand by and are very excited about as well. Committed to excellence, dedicated caring, powered by learning, and Plano ISD proud. We have so many things to be Plano ISD proud about, and the other statements up to that help fuel that. So that's important to all of us.
So those are on everything. That's the lens we look through when we make decisions that we do. So, okay, everybody, we're going to do a quick quiz, and this is going to go quick, but
and James Thomas has to know all the answers. We're
all right. Whoever wants to unmute. Number one, how many cities are represented in the PISD 100 square miles of the district? They're slow today.
You can go off mute or you can put it in the chat. Put a guess.
I can't see the chat.
Oh, okay, let's see if I can. Yeah, I can. So I'll look for the chat.
Okay. Anyone? Bueller?
Wait, hold on. So the question is, how many cities are included in the PISD?
The 100 square boundaries.
Yeah, miles.
Miles.
We have a 5. We have a 5 in the chat. That's a good number.
Okay. It's more than that. It's a hint.
Nancy, don't give it away. Okay.
It's a hint. It was hint. All right.
8. Ooh, we're getting warmer if you're going to do that, Nancy.
All right. Should I reveal it?
9.
Sure.
9.
Laura's 9.
Laura's close, but no cigar. It's
and Randall's
10.
right. It's 10.
Oh, I missed one.
All right. Anyone want to take a shot at our enrollment this year?
Let's Google that one.
No, Google it.
Laura. Yeah, she can't take her anywhere. 52,000, 45,000.
66,000.
69,000. Those are what's in the chat, Nance.
Okay, we're gonna go with 50,045. And just a note there, 36% of our students qualify for free and reduced meals. And I know a lot of people listen to those statistics and they're surprised, but we serve all kids. And so I just want you to have that idea of what we are serving and the resources. We've got amazing resources, and James is a rock star in our school district. So
it's also important to note that that's not equally distributed across the district. So when you're serving the likes of something like Armstrong, those numbers are quite different. And then we have schools that have very minimal free and reduced lunch. So we have a very, very diverse school campus dynamics in all the 72 campuses that we have.
absolutely. All right, who wants to take a guess at how much is this year's recapture, which other people call Robin Hood?
Put it in the chat or say it out loud. We got too much.
Too much.
That's the answer, Nancy. Alex gave us too much. We got $20,000.
Oh yeah. No, let's look at millions, people.
Yeah, it's going to be large.
180 million, or about 30% of our revenues that we bring in goes back to the state, and it goes into the general fund, and it is not necessarily spent on education. So that's a problem. We've been working on something called taxparency, which will let our taxpayers understand that. We tried to get a bill passed a couple of bienniums ago, couldn't get it passed, but we need to wake up our community so they know this number. All
And
right.
Another way to say it really quickly, sorry, Nancy, I'm going to interrupt you, is
sorry.
You are paying this directly to the state. So what you think is a local property tax is actually going, that 30% is a state tax that you are paying.
That's right. All right. Now, James, you might know this one. How many breakfast, lunches, and suppers are served in a school year? He's on mute.
Put a number in your head, y'all, so you can see what it looks like when you see the answer. So that's a hard one to answer too. So go ahead and show that one, Nance.
You see that? That's a lot of meals.
Anybody surprised to know we serve dinner, supper?
We have students that qualify and they stay with us in our PASAR program. That's an after-school program. And so they get a little bit to eat in the evening. All right, how many miles are logged by the PISD bus fleet in a given school year? Any ideas? Should I tell them?
Go for it.
More than 3,200,000 miles, almost as much as our recapture. Okay. All right, now this one's amazing. How many devices connect to the Plano ISD wireless network on any given school day? Put a number in your head. Anyone know?
Students we have, and then think about what the number could be.
All right, we'll go ahead and reveal this one. That's amazing. So we have a technology department that's very busy and a very strong firewall, but that's how our students connect and our 7,000 employees. All righty, we'll move on. That was a quick warm up. And then we're going to go to just an update. This is going to go quickly, but I want you to see this. It's on our website, so I'm not going to dwell on it, but it's a great visual. And Jerry, pick one of those items that you want to highlight.
Do both of them at the same time. I'm going to highlight, gosh, there's so many good things.
I know.
I like fine arts. That's one that I think sometimes gets overlooked when we're looking about school finance and we're looking about recapture. Our music education program is absolutely astounding. What we do for kids through the fine arts. And we will be opening the new fine arts complex coming soon in 2021. So that'll be exciting to share.
All right. And then always you can go back to the website and look at these infographics. We've got 2 more.
Oh, what was your favorite one, Nancy? You're
all righty. Well, I was just going to, I will say the strong fiscal management. We have a AAA and a AA. Those are the highest ratings, Standard & Poor's and Moody's. I may have that backwards. In the state of Texas, our bonds are very well managed, and we are saving the taxpayers interest when we do refunding. So our fiscal management, we've won for 35 years in a row. The district has won excellence in school finance management.
And my understanding is there's only four districts in the state that have that strength of report. 4 in all of the 1,000+ school districts in the state of Texas.
That's a good point. Okay, ready? Here we go. 2 more pages. Do you want to go first, Jerry?
I'll let you go first this time.
Okay. Well, I guess my favorite thing is the academic choices that we have in Plano ISD. A lot of people say, oh, they want choice in education and they want their dollars to follow their student. You've got it right here. Look at that list. IB World School at Huffman, Plano East, the Industries Academy at Collin Technical College or campus, the Academy High School, which is a STEAM focus, and the Health Science Academy. And we're looking to bringing a virtual academy option. We're waiting on the state legislature to approve that. Jerry, take it away.
You know, I look at the beliefs and I had to blow that up. Sorry, I know they're very small on your screen. So I wanted to highlight one that I feel great kinship to. And that is our equity and access to equal opportunities or access to reaching the higher levels of student achievement. We are so committed to equity as a school district and do what we can to make sure that every single student gets the learning they need. So that's one of my faves.
That is true. All right, we're going to scoot into another slide, and I'm going to let Jerry take over on this. Can everybody see the slide?
So we just want to give you guys an update on what's been going on. We all know that we've had a pretty challenging year in terms of, or actually just spring, in terms of some incidents and some public that we can't talk about the specifics of, but we can tell you about some great responses that have been made into that. And that is, we have been conducting community conversations, doing these listening sessions. Before all said and done, we will have had over 30 of those listening sessions. I personally have been to one with parents. I have been to one with students. I have been to one with faith leaders in our community. That was recent. And I also was with our multicultural roundtable group, so community organizations. And I've just been so impressed with the people who have volunteered their time. It's about a 2-hour listening session, hour and a half. It's a significant period of time of just really giving people a chance in a format to share their insights, their perspectives. You can see all that we have on there in the timeline. And I encourage you all to tune in if you were able to on the May 4th board meeting. We will, as a board, you hopefully are aware that Open Meetings Act requires that we can't talk to each other unless we're in a public setting. And so we will be sharing what we have learned, each of us in learning sessions. We had one board member in each learning session. So we haven't had a chance to share our insights, our excitement, the energy, the compassion that our community students, parents have had. We also are starting to do listening rounds with teachers. And so I'm excited to hear about what those come from my 6 colleagues on the board and be able to share mine. And I'm going to pause there for a second to see if there's any questions about that process or insights you may have.
Jerry, I'll jump in and say that I sat in on the listening round with Rotary Club. So thank you. There were several Rotary clubs there. Thanks for participating.
I saw Dolly wanted to say something. Dolly?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, what exactly is the go forward from these listening rounds? What are you going to do with the information, and how is that going to, or will it be disseminated among all of the people that were involved, the parents, or anything like that?
So that's what next Tuesday's board meeting will be about.
Okay.
The May the 4th. That will be where we are sitting in a public format. At the Board of Trustees, you get to be a witness to the conversation that we have, Dolly, and that's what the outcome is going to be. Will be starting to be shaped and formed once the 7 of us are able to share together what our insights are. And I think that's kind of the cool thing about it is we don't know. What are the themes that we hear? What are the areas that we need to be focusing on? The process of listening sessions may have been challenging for people because we genuinely listened. Very little if people said something incorrect, and sometimes we didn't, if they weren't correct, we just listened to understand where our community is, where our students are, and we look forward to seeing what that is. So it's not a script. There's no prediction about that. It will be a great time to find out what we need to be doing as a district as we have a conversation together. Someone asked what the question was. Again, the question was, what do you have questions about the conversations we've had? Yeah.
And I'd like to add how difficult it was to sit and listen to some of the input from our citizens with misinformation or poor information. And it was difficult not to want to just come in and say, no, you have this completely incorrect. So I applaud you guys for being able to set up and not say, what are you thinking? So wonderful job. Thank you.
Well, James, thank you. And I'll tell you what, we had a session last night. You see in the middle of the page, the Joint Summit on Bullying and Harassment. That took place last night, and that was a really good session. We had the Plano Police Department there, the Collin County Juvenile Services, and Judge Wheelis, who is the judge who hears all of the Collin County truancy cases. And I think it was a really good discussion. Hopefully that will be recorded. And if you're interested, you can go back and watch that. But I'm going to say Dr. Gober really was great at answering questions.
Well, and it was also nice because Chief Drain was on the call, was a part of it. It's both the superintendent, both the deputy superintendent, our new diversity and inclusion lead director, who is also a current high school principal. So he has some really great perspectives. I mean, we just had a great, more people from the juvenile justice system were there. It was just a really great conversation and opportunity to continue learning, which is where we all are. And I look forward to for us taking those learnings and applying them to how we can be better.
Yeah. Yeah. But, there are some common themes that we're hearing, and I think we're going to put those, to answer your question, Dolly, we'll be putting those into our practices and guidance for campuses and making certain that everything across the district is consistent. I think consistency is a theme that we'll probably be reinforcing. All right. Are there any other comments about our community conversations?
Okay, now I'm going to brag about my colleague because she's getting ready to show how she shines. If you also know that it's a Texas legislative session going on. So not only are we busy doing this and busy doing other things to make sure we continue staying as trustees, Nancy has immersed herself. Go ahead and move the slide, Nancy, to the legislative session and what's going on there. This truly is where Nancy is a mentor to me, and I'm thrilled to have her guidance as she tells you about what's going on with the state legislature.
Oh, you're too kind. Thank you. Well, you live on the board for 11 years. You got to pick it up, right? But I'm thankful to serve in a district where we are very active with the legislative process. And I had mentors that came before me, and I'll give a shout out to Missy Bender. She was my mentor and helped. She knows her way around the Capitol. I get lost, but anyway. So a couple of things. I've got some bullets here. We could go on for hours, and I'm not going to do that, but I just want to kind of give you a surface of what's taking place right now. The House has passed a budget. They passed a budget last week, and it fully funds public education, and it honors House Bill 3 that was passed in the last legislative session. And so that's a huge round of applause for that. Next week or so, House and Senate will meet in a conference committee and then combine their respective budgets for a final budget. A couple of things that I really think that was wise that the House did is they had some amendments. One prohibits the use of state funds for vouchers. I'm so thankful that they did that. Number two, they prohibit the use of federal aid to supplant the state budget, and I'll explain that in a minute. And it requires the state legislature to convene to direct the use of federal aid that is directed for the ISDs. So that federal funding we're talking about is what was approved by US Congress, and its nickname is ESSER, Elementary Secondary School Emergency Relief Funds. And you can see in the bullets under waiting on the waiver, there were 3 amounts that have been approved by the federal government to give to the states. And so ESSER 1 was granted before December 31st of 2020. And for Texas, the amount was $1.3 billion. In Plano, that would have accounted to be $4.16 million. But that amount of money, that 1.3 billion, was spent by the TEA to supplant the state's funding for public ed. So then the federal government realized, wait a minute, we've got to clarify this. So in the ESSER 2 and 3, we're going to say they can't supplant it. It's got to go directly to the LEAs, the local education agencies, or the ISDs. So ESSER 2 and 3 have been authorized by Congress, but this TEA has issued a waiver, and it has to do with college funding. And I'm not going to go into explaining that, but we're being held hostage. 40 plus states have already issued the money to their local education agencies, and we're sitting here being held hostage by a waiver. So I would encourage anybody who's wanting to get active is to write to your local state rep and senator and tell them, release these funds to the ISDs, because we need to be able to plan how we're going to pay for staff. I'm going to tell you what we'll do. We're looking for additional teachers and aides to reduce class sizes and address the learning loss that has been attributed to the COVID pandemic. And we also want to make sure that we have enough teachers, counselors, nurses, and aides to deliver the social and emotional programs to recognize the traumas sustained during the pandemic. And I'm telling you, kiddos being at home learning without their friends has been a hardship on them. And so we want to focus on restoring the mental wellness of students and staff and provide mental health supports. So we can't do that without this additional funding. And we're not able to plan our summer school until we know what is available for funding. So right here, that's a call to action. And then I'll move on quickly. House Bill 1446 will allow some virtual learning to qualify for funding through the average daily allotment or attendance. Sorry, I can't talk. So when kiddos are in the classroom, whether they're virtual or in person, we will get the funding for them to be in that class. And we're looking at offering a virtual academy because we've done a survey and we found some students are really truly interested in learning in a virtual manner. And it won't be thousands, but it's an option that we want to be able to provide as a choice for our students, because otherwise they might choose to go somewhere else. And so we want to have the opportunity to provide that choice to our students. So that's one of the bills that we're watching. House Bill 1556 is regarding the Chapter 313 agreements. That's the thing where the district can limit the value of a property and give them tax abatements, for a better use of a word, but it provides economic development in the area. So we did that with TI, Texas Instruments, and you'll see 7 cranes over there on the George Bush building that 300 millimeter silicon chip factory. Anyway, they're trying to change how that works.
So Nancy, I think we're running out of time and we need to see if we have.
Okay, you're right. So one last thing, any House bill that's not out of the committee by the end of the day on Thursday will be considered dead. So if you're looking at any bills that are passing and they're in committee, if they don't get through committee this week, they will die. And I'm sorry, I get too long-winded. I apologize. Any questions on that? James is laughing at me. Oh, are they all quiet? Are they all on mute, Jerry?
Well, Alex isn't, but that's Gary.
I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay. So you were talking about the ESSER 2 and 3 being held hostage, and I was just kind of by a waiver, and I was just kind of confused as what you meant by that, because it seems like a lot of technical stuff you're talking about that I don't fully understand.
That's right.
And so you mentioned writing to a senator or representative, and I was just looking for more information on that.
Okay, I'm going to give you an easy answer for you to follow. There's a group called Raise Your Hand Texas. And if you write that down and you go to raiseyourhandtexas. I'm not sure what their extension is, but they have a lot of information, and they have a one-click that will get you to your legislator, and you can then articulate what you want to say and see the funding, the federal funding, come back to the school districts and be released. So Raise Your Hand Texas is a nonprofit that is pro-public education, and I would send you there for more information. Would you agree with that, Jerry?
Yes, and I'm going to try to find the link so that you can take care of that really quickly while you answer some more questions.
Okay.
Excellent. Unfortunately, we're going to have to not have any more questions because we're out of time and people have to go back to work. But what I would want to do, ladies, you guys are both amazing. And I am going to let you know what we do for our speakers. In appreciation for your time and program, Plano West Rotary will donate $10 in each of your names and to the Rotary's Polio Plus Fund, together with the 2-to-1 matching funds from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The $10 will turn into 30, which will provide a polio vaccine for about 50 children. You should also know that Rotary is using our polio infrastructure to aid in the vaccination of COVID-19. So your donation is going to be supporting that effort too. What I'd like to say, ladies, for those, I've known both these ladies for years, they're personal friends. From a club perspective, they are our Rotary Club's friends. When a lot of what we do at the school district, they are our champions and our advocates. And so I was honored for them to tell us what they do, because they both just really fight for our district and fight for our kids and our teachers. And they make our club able to do the good we do by being our advocates with senior leadership. So Jerry, Nancy, you guys are just awesome women, super, super. And what I want to do now is to close out our meeting. Next week, we're having a very special meeting on club leadership and committees. And so I've been kicked out. Actually, I'm going to be out of town. So Zane's going to run the meeting with the aid of Glenn, but the topic's going to be discussing our club, how we run our club, our committees, and some required participation we need from our fellow members. So with that, I am going to ask Caitlin is going to lead us in the 4-way test as we close out. Take it away, Caitlin.
All right, the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Number 1, is it true? Number 2, is it fair to all concerned? Number 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Rotary. All right, everybody, have a great week. Thank you. Thank you, Jerry and Nancy.
Thanks
so much for
Jerry.
having us.
Thank you. Thank you.